driving force. I don't know, we've just always done it, and it seems to make such good sense to us. And initially, you know, the whole clubhouse and everything is made from reclaimed materials, and then it's evolved from there. It just seems pretty ingrained, and now more than ever it's just so important, and more often than not it saves money too, so it's an absolute win-win. So wildlife wise, I mean, the best one, and it's a shame they're not doing it now, but we left, when we built the holiday cottages, we left the eaves of the cottages open, and that is now home to a crazy amount of house martins who absolutely adore it. They dive bomb the lake. We've got a huge colony of house martins that come back every year. They enjoy the lakeside location, but we don't necessarily focus on particular species, but the habitat we have created is all about the wild areas, and the wildflowers, and just not making everywhere so groomed and pristine that we're allowing wildlife to prosper, whatever that is that chooses that habitat. So we're letting the right species find what they want, really. Not every inch of the land needs to be perfectly groomed. Some bits should be more challenging, and if that can benefit wildlife, then brilliant. That's our opinion, and generally we just work with what the space gives us. So an area that naturally sits wet, we work with that and what nature wants to give us from that situation. And likewise, rather than trying to fight nature, we work with it. So with whatever it gives us, we let it kind of dominate and work around it. Absolutely. So certainly some of the wilder areas that we have chosen to leave, it means less wear and tear on the mowers, it means less fuel, it means less man hours, which means we can then focus on the bits that really matter, the bits that really affect the game of golf. And like I say, creating that contrast between groomed and natural really is quite something beautiful. I'm going to be honest in the fact that we're a little bit in our own little bubble. When we started working on this golf course and the business plan around it, we were very conscious that we did things very, very differently to most. And we had a lot of golfers going, well, this place doesn't do that, and this place doesn't do that. And we're like, well, we're not that place. This is what we think we should be doing. And we stuck to our guns a little bit, and it's really paid off. I think it probably is fair to say that the industry is changing slowly but surely. The more confident we have been with what we do, and seeing, you know, since we introduced the organic products on the golf course in 2012, and seeing the results of that now this far down the line, the minimal maintenance that it actually takes in comparison to most golf courses is incredible. So we're really seeing that paying off, and obviously people that are only just making that change have got a little while down the line to see the benefits. Very minimal. I mean, it's all about looking after the soil biology, basically. It does take care of itself, which is so beneficial to the environment. And you know, the amount of sand we use must be minimal in comparison to most golf courses that are top dressing regularly. You know, the fungicides we use, it's tiny, it's absolutely minuscule. So that all has such a huge knock-on effect to cost saving as well as benefiting the environment. The turf care that we implement has kind of spoken for itself, and all they can do is complement the greens most of the time, and any time that we can spare to work on other areas, like, you know, any other maintenance areas, then the better for them, really. So I wouldn't say they know the ins and outs of the maintenance program that we have, so I think that's quite difficult to say whether they're on board with it. But they're certainly, since we've been doing more stuff with the solar and the bamboo teas and the stuff that I try and draw the members into to help them to understand what they can do, I think they're getting more of a kind of feel for where we're coming from now, because I'm involving them a little bit more. I think the more you can communicate it and make it normal, the better. I think that's it, is normalizing it. It's not just some wacky thing that is, or, you know, up to big businesses to cut their carbon footprint or You know, it's not about just buying an electric car. It's all about the things that everyone can do, not just what we're doing. So I think by talking about what we do and talking about what they can do, together we're going to make a bigger difference. I think my top tip is to just think about everything you do and ask yourself, is it good for the environment? You know, does that area need cutting, or can we let it go wild? Can we plant any wildflowers anywhere? Can we benefit the wildlife in any way at all? And then can we reuse anything? You know, we have a huge yard full of what most people would think of as rubbish, because we want to potentially make another life for it in the future, and it saves it going to landfill, and it saves you money, and it makes something quite cool and quirky afterwards. So it's not always possible, but it's always worth asking yourself, can you reuse this? Can you do something better?